There are multiple ways to establish a border space. In previous modules, I've showed you how to measure out very specific measurements on the right and left edges of your paper and on the top and the bottom edges of your paper, and create a line, like an actual set of lines that create the border. For this example, I just want to show you a couple of other methods, because I don't always use a ruler to draw my border space. There's a little trick I learned in construction where if you hold your pencil in your fingers like this and you line up your fingers with the edge of the paper, and you can lightly draw a line. And as long as you keep that distance relatively the same, you're going to be able to get a pretty contiguous border. So these lines are pretty light. They're hard to see, right? But I don't want to draw them any darker than that. So that is a way that I might create a border with a pencil that is less committed to the paper, meaning I can get rid of it a little bit easier because I'm using less pressure. Also, if you're aware of the spatial distance that a 2-inch border creates, you can start to not draw a border if you're designing something that has a lot of negative space. So if I want my design to be relatively within this area of the picture plane, which would be like a drawing space with an established border, I don't need to draw the border to keep my drawing within that space. So you can start to imagine a border space and keep your drawing within that border space. If you're doing a drawing where the negative space goes all the way out to the edge, I suggest doing a border, like an actual border measured out. Or you can use tape. If you're doing a design that has negative space, that the negative space of the design is going to be left the white of the paper, then I would suggest just being aware of the spatial distance of a 2-inch border, right? And keep your design within this area. And the reason why you want to do that is because you still want to give yourself some space around the edge of the paper for either potential framing or for photographing, or if you give yourself a little bit more space and you want to add some things to your design, then you've had this excess 2 inches on the perimeter of your drawing space to add things. Okay, so for this assignment, I just want you to be aware of a 2-inch border and then try to keep your designs within that field. So I'm going to call this the field of the picture plane, and I'm going to call this the perimeter of the picture plane. So be aware of the field, right?